Hi guys, my name is Srinivas. I will walk through a POC that I just completed recently. The topic is about how to run a PEGA application server in Docker containers. The scope is only PEGA application server and not the databases. Uh, let's start the steps. Okay, there are 12 simple steps. I will go through one by one. So first we need to install the Docker software. So I already installed in my system. I just will verify uh, using the docker command. So let's see. So it says it's already docker is software installed. So the master the version is some 2021 10 10. Now next thing is we need to, there are multiple options we have. We can use the existing image directly, or we have to create our own image using the existing images. So how can we create our own image? We need to create our own image because there are some configuration changes we need to done our end, database settings, uh, or we need to add some additional jars into our application. So those changes can be done to the base image and create our own image files. So for that thing I created a folder called PEGA container. Let's go to the PEGA container. So in this container I added all the required files. For now I added we will go through the basic files, the context where I need to configure the database configurations, and the jar files required to connect the databases, and the docker file. So let's open the docker file and see what is in the docker file. The docker file contains these are the instructions basically how to create image. So get the base image of this tomcat version and add the jars. So I haven't added all the things, just for the POC purpose, the basic things, how can we make it work. So I added some jar files and the context file. And next go to command line and build the image, the required image for us. So this instruction, so I will run this docker file. So if I run a docker build command, this will take this docker file and it will create a image. Let's see do we have any docker images first. Okay, docker images. So I don't have any docker images. Let's see docker containers. Docker containers. So we don't have any docker containers. Let's so we don't have any docker images and docker containers. So we have to build the docker now, docker images, sorry. Let's run this command. Before running this command we need to go to the folder that we created, because we put all the files there. So this end dot command is considers the only the current location. So let's go to the current location, cd /PEGA. So I just went to PEGA. Then we'll run a build command so that it will create image. So what is trying to do here is it is trying to get the tomcat 8.5 version, and it is adding the files as per the docker file. So let's verify the image. So there is one image is created, Now the next step is we need to run the PEGA application server in Docker container. So we have to create a container. So how to create a container is, so this is the step we need to use. So this command docker run -d -p, let's remove this for now. Like, so by default tomcat runs in 8080 port, but I am trying to run it 9293, and we need to have the image ID. Let's take the image. Let's put the image and see. So the application server is running now, and verify whether we can access this application, this 7th step, and see what's happening. So 9293 port, so when I try to access it, we are not able to access it. So something is wrong with this. So but if you see, tomcat server is running, but we are not able to access. We are getting 404 error. So how can we resolve this issue? For that thing, let's connect to the tomcat and see what is missing there. To connect the tomcat server, so first of all, before even connect to the, because tomcat server is running in the container, we need to know what is the container ID. So docker container, docker container contai. So there is a one docker container exist. The container ID is this one. So let's connect to tomcats in the container. So what are the command to connect the tomcat in the container is, let's go to our command sheet. So this is the command we need to use to connect the tomcat server. So I opened in like completely different PowerShell command line instead of the one where the tomcat is already running. Let's go to that folder and see. We need to here give the container ID. So I'm copying the container ID. So no such container. Oh, this is the container ID. So we gave the wrong ID. We gave the image ID. So that's the reason we are not able to connect. But let's give the right container ID and run it. So we are able to connect to the tomcat in the container and see. Let's see what we have in the container. So we have web apps. So web apps and web apps destination. So by default, the containers they're not providing the sample application part of web apps. So they are providing the sample application part of web apps distribution. So we need to move the example files from the example application from the web app dist to web app apps. So let's see, move web apps to web apps 2. Now move web apps dot this to web apps. Okay, now let's see what's happening in the. So if you see, the example files are now deployed in the tomcat applications. Now just verify tomcat, so you should be able to access. So then now the next step is we have to deploy the PEGA var file. For that thing, what we have to do is, so from the host computer to the container image, the container tomcat, we need to migrate the var file. Let's exit from this tomcat now, or keep the tomcat now. Verify the jar files or library files that we migrated to tomcat. part of our Docker file. So let's see ls lib. So we have JDBC jar and Postgres. So whatever jars we migrated, those jars are available part of this tomcat container libraries. Now the next thing is we need to deploy the PEGA var files. So you need to verify the context.xml also in the config. So I think it's copied successfully, so I'm not verifying now. But let's migrate deploy the PEG application. For that thing, so we need to use this command. So let's open new command line. So what we need to do is Docker container. So we need container ID. So we are copying a pair web.var to the web apps of Tomcat. So we need to create the container ID here. So container ID. So let's minimize this so that you can see what's happening in the Tomcat. So let's run this. And see what's happening here. Seems this was not executed, but let's copy and run in the other folder. This cannot be executed here, so we need to exit from here and run it. So successfully copied. So let's see what's happening here. So the problem is this is not able to PEGA bootstrap Java version, unable to use given database configurations. So cannot connect to JDBC post localhost Postgres. So no suitable driver. So this is the issue we are facing. So we need to copy the right Postgres database driver. Then it will resolve. So in the next session I will find the right driver file and I will deploy and see how it goes. Thank you for watching this. I hope this will help some people to start doing research in the PEGA container world.